Hi, everyone. Richard Carlton. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training where in my job, I am supposed to be enthusiastic and train you, and we all work together to do awesome shit. And so let's move forward. Okay, so my one question, and Chris, so this is where we all ask questions. I am not perfect. I have a question. So at the helicopter company, the other one where I do the maintenance on there, or I did the software for them, and I talk to them, we need to think about installing the PDF library, right? So I have a code in there to auto install the plugin, and then it says, "Are you sure?" And your plugin's out of date, and there's a sample file for that. But Christian, do you have a sample file for the best way to install the Dyna PDF library, or if just point me?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
Oh,
Where does it go? It goes in the
yeah.
directory next to
So
the plugin, right?
in the documentation, we have a snippet where we basically write the library in a temporary folder
Hmm.
from a container, so you can keep it in a container and
Yep. 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 Show. Because I'm
Dyna
going to play this
PDF
back in about
init
3 days, and then I'm going to need to do it.
So you have to call the initialize function, tell the plugin where the library is, and you can just use empty quotes here to have the plugin look up in the plugins folder, which is the easiest way. But otherwise, here, write library to disk from container and initialize. So this is
Okay, hold. That's on the page called MBS plugins dot, I guess, EU, Dyna PDF initialize SHTML.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my question, everyone. My question's been answered. Margaret,
So
do we have other questions?
you can just have it in a container. You can write it somewhere. You could check with the file functions if the file is newer and only install it if it's newer.
That's what I need to do. That's what I need to check the version. So yeah.
Or you just overwrite the file every time you start. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There we go. We have a question. Hi, I'm trying to create an empty folder on my desktop with the scripting language. Can MBS help me with that?
Absolutely. I guarantee that can be done.
Yeah, so how quick can I find the function? So we have a files, create directory. We have a create directory function. You pass in a native path. So something like here on Mac, users, CS, your folder name, or on Windows, a native path with here, for example, C double colon. Like if you click something in the Finder and you go here and you press Option key, it says copy as path name.
Oh yeah, grab that.
Yeah.
What is that? And is that a relative path or an See, I knew relative path and absolute path, but I don't know what a native path is.
Yeah, well, the one used by the operation system. Like, for example, this. And FileMaker would usually have something like file, and then maybe this is more the kind of notation FileMaker uses, which nobody else uses, just FileMaker.
Okay. Of course.
Well, it has advantages. You can have a file path you can have something like this, file win. So you could have different passes for Mac and Windows and put that in a container field. So FileMaker would automatically pick the right file depending on which operation system you have. That's something they built into the product.
Which is awesome.
But nowadays we have server hosting, so we have the files on the server side, and we use external containers. So FileMaker does it all automatically, and you never touch it.
Okay.
Someone on Discord asked percentage users percentage ?
Yeah, they probably want to have something like a folder for the user home folder. That's a function which just gives you the home folder.
Well, the home is not the desktop, right? The home is the one buried.
We have the desktop. We have the desktop here. We also should have probably the home folder. Yeah, there's a home folder. You can also, if you want to use % users, so if you like to query an environment variable you can do that. We have functions for environment variables. So you could put in your % users % on Windows. well, just the users, and ask for the value of the variable and know the path if you want. So, but let me show something I made this week. So let's say, what if I could define functions in the plugin that would appear here in the list?
Ooh, yes. So you can scroll down the
Okay.
list and see them available. If you use the
Yeah.
function a lot, you can go find
So
it.
you can define your own custom functions with the plugin. They appear as if they would be custom functions in FileMaker, but they are available in all files, and they're installed dynamically on startup by your solution. So you can have a database with all your custom functions, like this one, and just run the script on startup of your solution, like for your plugin company. And then in all your files, you could use this custom functions. Yeah.
So
And
you would have all your custom functions stored in one file and then be automatically called in every other file that you
yeah,
wanted them in.
yeah. You just register them once, and until FileMaker is quit, you can use them.
Wow.
And this is something I learned this week, that after 18 years, I'm not just able to register a function at the start of the solution, but I can register it at any time.
Oh, that's fun.
So I made a little plugin function. Where is it here? Register function, and you pass in an ID. This ID must be unique because FileMaker identifies functions by their ID, except if you use evaluate, and then it's by name. So you give it an ID, you give it a name, you can give it a declaration, which then shows up in the dialog. Whatever expression you like to run when this function is called. And then minimum, maximum parameter count if you want. So you can define how many parameters you want. And when this function gets called, there's a plugin function in C++ internally called, which then stores the parameters and allows you to query them with new functions to query the parameters of the custom function.
That's really nifty.
So while you name the parameters in your declaration, you actually need to have your code use a let statement and then query the actual parameter to have local variables if you want to use them. But I'm curious to see if people like that.
No, that's fun. I might try that out. There's a couple custom functions that I realize I need to transfer or that I want easily available instead of having to go hunt for them all the time. So.
So I showed this feature a few people. The first question was, can we have JavaScript? The answer is yes, but maybe not this week.
Not this week,
yeah, well,
right?
we have something big to do next week.
You can't have it tonight, but you can have it tomorrow morning. All right. Nice. Typical. Well, if it was anyone else, I would think it's bull. What you just said was a giant flaming pile of bull, but it's you, and we know that you work 10 times harder than everyone else. So anyway.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
What else we got? Other questions?
Or do you have other things that you want to show off, Christian? Because there's like one question floating, but.
Good question.
The question is, I need to connect an external camera and an external signature device to FileMaker Pro for Windows 10. I'm having a hard time getting them.
Camera's easy. Signature device is a loaded mouthful. So it's a USB. Let me just interrogate the person first before Christian gets too deep. So the USB device or a biometric? What are we talking about?
They put a picture. It's a USB. They sent a picture, but it doesn't have the title. But it looks like it's a USB where like you would scroll on it with like.
Okay, so let's cover this one right here first. This is the AV recorder. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the first question. If someone has a web viewer
camera
no, has a camera and they want to talk to it, the first thing is connect the camera to the computer, see if you get a driver for it, and see if it shows up as a video device, and if the
Hey,
plugin.
can you if you have to turn your camera off? Oh, well, there it is. Oh, you jacked the feed. Awesome. So he's doing it. Margaret, the feed's been jacked. It's split.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Okay, so then now
So this,
you're showing there. Can we grab a screenshot? Can
take
what can we
picture.
do?
So
Okay.
this is something you can do on Mac and Windows. We have a couple of options. So if you need a
Okay.
picture from a webcam, you can try that. The other thing is,
Okay.
if you need to talk to an external device that does something, whether it's a scale or some signature thing, you have to know what's the connection, what's the protocol, how do you talk to it. We have functions for serial ports, for TCP/IP, for UDP sockets. If your signature pad can be talked to, like some devices are just TCP/IP devices with an IP, so you send a request there, like a web API, and you ask, give me the current picture.
Oh yeah, that's how we had the change drawers. Remember, Margaret? I don't know if you remember that. That's what John Eisen did with us. He'd had change drawers, so you could have the change drawer, and you're like, oh, you owe him $5 or €5 or whatever. Hit the ding, the change drawer fires off, and a receipt printer. Yeah, that can get kind of complicated. You want it to be as simple as possible.
Well, it depends. I mean, sometimes you have a modern looking device with an USB-C cable, and then you connect it and see it's serial over USB. So you just send a command there, like give me current picture, and it sends you back a JPEG stream. You write it into a container field, and you have your picture. So
yeah,
there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay.
yeah, that's going to take some more work. The photo part's easy. The signature thing's going to take some more work.
okay, then let me show you something else I made at the last conference.
Ooh.
Okay.
You notice this card window?
Yes.
It's a card window. Yes.
Yeah. What's different?
Well, it's rounded on the corners. Can they? Have they always been able to be?
Round corners.
Oh, that's cool.
It's something the plugin makes for Mac and Windows.
Nick's gonna vibrate
right,
out of
stop.
his skin.
Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Now Margaret's all excited. I'm like, but
it's
okay. So what does it take to implement this? Right? Is this card style still a layout over here, or is it not a layout?
It's basically you show a card window and then you tell the plugin to add the round corners.
Give it rounded corner. Oh, that's easy. Okay, good. I thought you were gonna have some like weird fungi, you know, kung fu bolt. Yeah.
You also have here the other thing that when you open the card window and you click outside the card window, that we close it. That's something we have for years. And it's little things, you know. There's someone at the conference asking me, the card windows don't have rounded edges, rounded corners. Can we do something about it? And I play a little bit with the APIs, and I find the call.
Is that Mac and Windows?
Mac
both?
and Windows.
Yeah, you know, Rick Kalman, he worked on it's called quality of life issues. The little things Christian just said, the quality of life, rounded edges, things that make sense. So there's not sharp corners, sharp edges on your product, right? So, you know, if you have a piece of metal or something like around me and all these are rounded and smoothed off so we don't cut our hands on it. You want a product that doesn't have a bunch of sharp edges. And so you're saying MonkeyBread is the sandpaper for FileMaker Pro, is like the sand off the burrs and off the sharp edges.
It's just someone asked me in Vienna, you know, I was at the conference, a lot of people, and it's one of the little things I could just figure out at the conference.
So you made it at the conference.
Yeah. He's showing off.
That's cool. As a side note, the fact that you can close the card window by clicking out of it, we might have to add that into BVA because that would be another way for them to.
That's one of our unfortunate unplug moments where the owner ripped the cord out of the walls because he couldn't close the damn card window. Even though there was a red X in the corner, that was like so out. The plug came. Yes.
Yeah. Here have the area outside the outside the card be a clickable area which triggers a closing script. Like there's a call here to tell there's a card window, and the card window is centered and has this size. And so the plugin knows the size of the card window, and then we can say if there's a click coming and it's outside the card window, we trigger the script, and the script is just a FileMaker script to close the card window.
There you
Okay.
go. That's nifty. I will be going and editing
Yeah,
that.
quality of life stuff.
MonkeyBread Plug-in does a lot, but all the favorite features that does everyone like lose their minds are all the really basic quality of life features that Christian adds, like the auto-completing
it's so-
variables.
The reason I'm laughing over here because we're getting excited about rounded edges on a window. I mean, Steve Jobs made him do that back when he was doing the Mac the first time.
In the past, several DEF CONs with keynotes where Claris showed little things and got a lot of applause.
They got the biggest applause, right? Like the you guys are all going to and love the new folding code folding. It's going to be awesome. Me and Margaret love it.
Yeah, don't forget to update the plugin because the new plugin disables the MBS code folding.
So what version do we need to have to be FileMaker? Let me just ask this FileMaker 22 question. So it's FileMaker 2025 or 2022, released in the year 2025. What version of MonkeyBread do we need to have that's compliant? Like are you going to switch to this year thing with MonkeyBread so we can have MonkeyBread 25?
Well,
It'd
we
be a lot
are at
easier.
the year.
FileMaker 25.
I did that 10 years ago
But you're on
when I made the version at least one digit match the year. So I'm
Okay.
just 10 behind.
So back up. So any version 15, is it aware of the new FileMaker?
The new FileMaker
where is
has been in development for some time, and I'm testing the new version and I'm making changes. And sometimes I write it in the release notes, updated for future FileMaker. But
What I'm asking is what version, if I have 15.1, do I need to update that? I mean, I know you would always say update every day.
Not urgently. Any 15 will probably just be fine. 15.2 has a few fixes. 15.3 will come a week after FileMaker's release. So I have a week of last minute bug fixes if someone noticed something. And then 15.3 is the final recommended version.
Yeah, I feel I just, that thing makes me happier, and to promote a person and a product that is such a great contributor to the community, Christian Schmitz. I'm not getting out of this. I'm just telling you, a lot of times I'm around people who, the people on the show, we try to make really good people, right? And they do a lot for the community. They help the community, and they, and I mean, honestly, Christian Schmitz should make quite a bit more on this product, and hopefully the platform will grow and he can sell more product. But we want to help him. This is really great. Other questions, Morgan?
We do. We got two floating around on YouTube. The first one is from Alessio. Can I use my voice to dictate text to write in a field?
Okay, can I answer that? Actually, Margaret, would you like to answer the question for him?
You can do this. I don't remember how to do it. I didn't develop this part in BBA.
Okay, so back up. So here is D'Alessio? D'Alessio. Here's the deal with this, is that, whatever Apple has built in, trust me on this, or Windows has built in for AI, voice to text sucks. Just take it from a guy who's been down that road, okay? So there's a company called Assembly.ai. We did a video on it 3 or 4 months ago, 6 months ago. Margaret was part of that. But we had to use MonkeyBread to communicate with them because the REST APIs and FileMaker had bugs in them. I don't know if the bugs have been fixed. Part of me, I care, but I don't care, right? If that makes any sense. Wow, it's really blowing it. And so the short version of the conversation, we had to use MonkeyBread to create the REST API to send the audio file out of it. So we write the audio into a container field on the iPhone. The iPhone is on Go. It goes to the server or whatever. You can run the script. You can probably run the script from Go if you want, but we told it to run on PSOS. The server would run it. It sends the audio file to Assembly AI, and Assembly AI comes back with the text extraction from it, and it's pretty damn good. But watch the video because there's some pitfalls if you don't pay attention. Like the first time I tried, I was so mad. That's because that you can pay for the level of intelligence your AI has. The assembly AI does it. They give you the text back. So when you're on an assembly AI, that you're going to pay for like a 30-second dictation or minute dictation, something stupid like a penny. It's stupid cheap. But what you have to do is there's a knob, a setting that you set in the assembly AI for really stupid AI versus an AI who's actually going to try to do the job, because they cost more. So one is 1/100th of a penny and the other one's a penny. And I was having horrible results with it. And I was so mad. I used a lot of F words and words I shouldn't use. And then the person goes, "Oh, well, you should turn the quality of your AI model, turn his, they call it the effort level, where you want to call it, how much he's going to effort to do it well." And we turned it up to max and it started coming out perfect. And I'm like, well, dude, I don't care about 1/10 of a penny. I mean, if you're doing 1 million transactions like Bank of America and you're doing 1 million transactions every day, that should add up. But most of us don't do things like that. That would not have worked without Christian Schmidt and the MonkeyBread plugin.
Wow.
So
I would just have installed Whisper locally and just run the command line tool with shell functions.
to talk to the assembly AI, or to run the
No, to
locally
run a
against
local AI to do the
on the Mac.
Or on the
All
Linux
right,
box. It doesn't
my
matter.
experience is that says sucked. So I don't know. Build something that might suck, or you can take it from Richard that you do the yeah, because Christian makes a lot of calls to the libraries internally. I'm just telling you that sometimes Apple, it's like the live, what they have, the live PDF thing in FileMaker where you could read the text out of a PDF.
Or you use the
That
local
thing-
one from Apple. I mean, speech recognition
Yeah.
function is there.
It's not a MonkeyBread thing. I needed MonkeyBread anyway, but using the external service, and their entire corporate job is to do this one thing well.
Yeah.
Right? You see what I'm saying? That makes sense. So you get, if it just depends if you want it to be reasonably accurate, or if you want it to say weird, like you ask your boss if you want to have a lusty lunch when you mean a late lunch, and it sends a lusty lunch to your boss, right? I mean, who wants that? So yeah, just depends on how spicy you want your text to come back. Because I've had bad luck with the Apple, their AI in terms of the text image to real text to live text, a turd. And on top of that, it's not cross-platform. Assembly AI doesn't give a. It works on everything. It's a service you call. It's stupid cheap, but you have to. I use MonkeyBread to make it work. So it's not like an anti-Christian thing. It's just who's going to actually do the thinking, because the translation is not being done by MonkeyBread. MonkeyBread's going to allow you to call the operating system on the Mac or formulate and send it out to someone else, anyone else. It's Swiss cheese. But yeah, that's just me. But that's because I just did this. Me and Mario just did this, and I thought I was going to have to tell the customer we couldn't do it. And it's just because there was enough roadblocks. But we have a show on it and a sample file, so please avail yourself of those things.
Next question.
Yes. Is there any way to get page count from report ran as PSOS? It is super frustrating that PSOS won't support preview mode, and I need to get the page count, but this fails unless in preview mode. Can it?
That's definitely a MonkeyBread kind of thing. Christian, you have that?
Well, the report is a PDF, I assume.
Yes.
So you could just run the report, open the PDF, ask for the page count, and run the report again if you want.
With Dyna PDF, would you need Dyna? Can you do it without Dyna PDF?
Yes, we have PDF kit functions on Mac and Windows PDF on Windows. So
he's saying that you generate the PDF first, or our test version of the PDF.
Yeah.
Then you open the PDF to see how many pages it is. Bring that back into FileMaker, and then it's really a bass backwards kind of thing, but then you would know the number of pages. You could put that into a field or something, then rerun if you want the page. Like if the bottom of the page is 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, but you don't know that 10 is 10, you output it first, get the 10, bring it back, drop it in, take the first PDF, delete it, and rerun the PDF the second time, and then send it that spray away.
Or you do the page numbers with Dyna PDF after. I mean.
Oh, can it number them, like imprint the number on it?
Yes, let's just open the add page numbers example and do that.
There you go. So yeah, so there's what I said, then there's this right here. DynaPDF's extra money is that. Okay, so to be clear, MonkeyBread's pretty expensive. DynaPDF's more money. It's a little more expensive. It just depends how badly you want it.
So
Well,
if you just take the merge example, you can do merge of several PDFs. And then,
Margaret, that's another thing we have to
on
work
the
on
end, you
about
can
this.
go over all the PDFs and just print page numbers on it like you want it. It's
Yeah.
all up to you. You can decide to say every second page is left aligned or right aligned, you know. You define the area, you define the text, the font, and it's
Yeah.
all scripted. So
gonna-
you can have FileMaker just output the report, and then you can merge the report with some other PDF files, and then add page numbers to all of them. And maybe also a watermark and some bookmarks, some links to click on.
there you
But
go.
maybe that's a good topic for another live stream.
That probably would be, actually. We always get a lot
Yeah,
of
building
PDF.
it live from start to finish, you know?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, actually, because we always get a lot of questions about this. Like, I have another PDF question, shock and surprise, floating in my stuff. Script to print a PDF. I have a layout that shows our newsletters in an interactive container. In the header of the layout, I want a button that allows the newsletter to be printed directly from the layout without having to download the PDF.
Yeah. Make Windows, Linux.
I'm muted. I'm gonna unmute. Mark, can you reread that slowly, please, for me?
Yes, script to print a PDF. I have a layout that shows our newsletters in an interactive container. In the header of the layout, I want a button that allows the newsletter to be printed directly from the layout without downloading the PDF.
So we have printing of PDF documents for Mac and iOS with PDFKit and for Windows with DynaPDF. So
They're Windows, apparently. So
yeah, so we have here the print PDF example file where you drop in a PDF file. Let me copy one. And yeah, it's just you make a new
So DynaPDF is cross-platform. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
So if we talk about DynaPDF, it's Mac and right?
Yeah, and it has the print functions for Windows. So you can load your PDF. You can you open your PDF first, then you load all the pages, and then you call the print function and tell it the printer name and some options, and that's it.
Okay, but so Margaret, the gist of this though is what's the last sentence? They're on a layout, the newsletter's in a container, and they want to
print without downloading.
Well, they
PDFs.
could just have the file exported to a temporary folder, open Acrobat Reader, and print it there.
Print without.
They don't want the file to appear on the desktop of the
Well, that's a totally separate issue. Having a file, okay, if you have a file in a container, historically, what you'll either output to the desktop, which I like to do so I can see it, but I've seen that over abused, or you can output that to a temp directory so you don't see it. It's still there. It's invisible for all practical purposes. It's a temporary directory that gets erased, I don't know, once a week or once a month or whatever it is on the computer. And you can write your stuff in there and no one would ever see it. So I don't know what I'm trying to figure out if the problem is that simple to fix. So you could print it and you're good to print it, you have to download it. I mean, unless you have the server do it, we're jumping through hoops to try to, if the issue is you have icons that are junking up the desktop, if that's the actual problem, then just output them into the temp folder. Margaret, Big Valley, the guy pulls the plug on the computer. I set it to the desktop so I could see it, but he pressed that button all the time. His desktop is half full of those PDFs. But now he's trained it that's like this repository of documentation. So he uses desktop as it's unintended consequences, right? So yeah, Margaret's laughing, right? So yeah. I think you're laughing. Are you laughing? Is that laughing?
I was laughing, yes. I was lamenting and laughing at the same time.
So are we just trying to keep it off the desktop? Is that the issue, or is there another deeper issue here? Right. So
there was another thing that you could run something on Windows to ask it to print. Where could that be?
Christian, you look for that, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask Margaret to find that next. Or you found it already?
I'm just looking.
Yeah, he's looking. Margaret, you have another
We
question?
do. From Zane. Hi, is it possible to print labels to a Brother P-Touch printer? These use 9, 12, 18, 24 millimeter tape.
Brother P Touch. Oh, the TC, the little
Yeah.
narrow ones like I use. Those. Okay. Uh, I've never hooked that up before, but if you had a USB or Bluetooth connection, I don't know how robust it is. That's a really good because those labels are everywhere. I mean, they use them in the helicopter all over the place, right? So good question. You'd have to go to Brother and see if they have a printer that has a. Probably these days it'll be Bluetooth, right?
Well,
Bluetooth connection.
the first thing is two ways. One thing is it has a print driver, and you can just use the print functions in FileMaker, or it doesn't have a print driver, and you talk directly to it. Then you need to know the interface, like a TCP socket or a serial port, and you need to know the exact protocol of what they talk. And I had print labels, label printer where we just had a template for the commands to draw a nice label. And then we filled in the text and sent it over serial port to the printer, and it printed it. This command included then maybe a command to cut the paper. So it's all possible, but it's some work.
Well, that's if you don't have the print driver. So what he's basically, let me rephrase it. So if you can connect the P-Touch printer, any kind of printer, any output device to your computer through USB somehow, and then you can go to like Word and do a print job and direct it to that printer. It might look like, but you can actually send the print job to the device, whatever device it is. Then you have a print driver. Then it'll be pretty easy to do relatively. It gets exciting if you have a USB cord connected to it, but there's no print driver, so the computer if the computer cannot fundamentally print to it natively and you just go to like Microsoft Word and do it from there, if that can work, you're set. If not, it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of command line coding and stuff.
So there's a thing that you can tell Windows to not just open a file, but to use a print command. So we had that here some in the run task functions. I think we even have a newer function somewhere to actually do this open thing on Windows, but I can't find it. So it's also the thing we use here for Explorer, so you can just tell it to open a folder as an Explorer window on Windows, or to open the Find interface. But the print one would allow you to launch Acrobat Reader to open the PDF, print it, and then close. So you could automate it.
There you go. We have another question kind of related to PDFs. Hi, I'm trying to import Finder tags. When I import my PDFs, is it possible to import Finder tags used in the Mac OS? I'm really not interested in any other metadata, and get container attribute doesn't appear to pick up these tags.
Yeah. So let's go back to the documentation. We have some files functions, and let's see, you have tags. So the first thing is there is a Finder label, which is just a number from 0 for no label, 1 to 7 for different colors. And there's a color palette. This is the older thing, and then there is the tag names, which gives you the list of the tags, the texts.
So the answer looks like probably most likely. We'll chalk that up as a win for MonkeyBread.
Yeah, let's put in a tag here. Let's say I make it yellow, and now I copy the path name, and then we go to the data viewer, MBS files, get Finder label, pass in, evaluate 5. So 5 is the number for yellow on my computer, and get tag names gets me 0.
There you go. Problem solved.
You know what it's like to even I'm not even the one really saying yes. I'm just here to facilitate the communication of the yeses. You know, warm and fuzzy makes me say yes to people so they can solve their problems. I love this. This is great.
Yeah.
We have another question. Wait. Okay, I'm trying to submit orders to our FileMaker application. I'm trying to get a way for our customers to submit their orders into our application without having to license each user. So I'm wary about using WebDirect. I'm developing a replacement order and fulfillment system for our company using FileMaker. I'm looking for a way for our customers to submit their orders to our system without having to buy licenses for each of our customers. Our customers will only need to submit and edit orders. Can the MBS plugin help me grab the information or something like that?
The answer, okay, so let me just take a swing at this before you dive in. So this is one of those questions that is the answer is absolutely. The question is what's the best path forward on that? I mean, it's one of those deals that you can build a web page that talks to FileMaker with Margaret. What are we? DAPI's the old tech, and the new tech is OData, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily need MonkeyBread per se. We are going to have a show, and I'm not trying to tell you not to buy MonkeyBread. I think buy MonkeyBread. We are going to have a show called on. Finally, we got some of you were really big on better forms. It's the folks that are going to come on the show. Are they doing a week, Margaret? They're doing a week. So once we get through the FileMaker 20 version 22 / the year 2025 launch, that launch is coming up in July. They're going to come on the show for a week. Now I know you probably don't want to wait till that time. I know a lot of people, if you have a way of it's Better Forms allows people who are not serious web developers to build a web page that talks to FileMaker. Okay, I don't know what it costs. I haven't used it. All I know is that everyone I know says, "Oh, you got to get these guys on the live stream." So that's generally a clue that there is a group of people that like that product. You can do this just with MonkeyBread. A couple different ways. You could have them fill out a PDF and then they email you the PDF, or you can have fill out a PDF and press a button on the PDF. The PDF itself takes the data that they type, because some PDFs you can type into, right? A lot of them not, but you could type into some that are formed. You can press a button and it takes all that data on the PDF, it shoots it across the internet to the FileMaker server or to the MonkeyBread plugin on the server. Christian, you want to address, now that I've kind of teed this up a little bit, how would you do this?
Well, the first thing is you're a FileMaker developer. You could check if you can use WebDirect for it.
Can't for licensing.
Yeah, well, if you small company, you buy a site license, you can have as much WebDirect as you want.
Okay, okay. Let's just be clear. Okay, so back up. Let me help everyone here. The answer is if you're a small company and you have 10 people or 15 or 20 people or whatever, and you have 20 or 30 customers that are randomly going to log on to the server, you can buy a small concurrency to go with that. A small concurrency is supposed to be, a concurrent license, one where if you buy say you buy a 10 pack for your company and you buy 5 additional concurrent licenses on top, you do a double. If you buy the 5 concurrently, what happens is that 5 people, doesn't matter who they are, generally, that the software just says, hey, I got 5. When the 6th person tries to log in, it won't let them. Technically, you're supposed to be able to name these people who they are, but really at the end of the day, Claris doesn't care. As long as you're paying your bill and you're not an asshole, they're not going to bother you about it, to be clear, right? If you're not lighting fires and causing problems. So what Christian is saying is true. The actual biggest downside to WebDirect is that you have to be on a fairly current browser. And what happens is people build a web page, and it works on most of the time on browsers that are 3 or 4 or 5 years old, on all the different platforms, etc. And WebDirect is replicating what FileMaker does in a layout, and it's really sensitive. And Claris only ensures that it'll work on the latest browser, like on the latest Safari, the latest Chrome, and the latest, I guess, Edge, right? And so the problem is people go, well, I'm going to use Firefox. We say, don't use Firefox. I'm smarter than you are, Richard. I'm going to use Firefox. And then 8 months later, they're bitching that Firefox isn't supported by FileMaker, even though I told them not to do it. So the trick is, if it's very simple, If it's very simple to set up a page, a layout that's very simple by the users, it's not complicated, not doing a bunch of scripting like they type something that does, it checks 12 different sources for inventory availability and does all this other gee whiz stuff. If it's fairly simple, you could do it with WebDirect and try that. Okay. If you have buy the minimum concurrency, like a 5-pack, and then and then you can use that for your customers. But a minimum concurrency of 5 is going to be about the same as 15 license users. So that's going to be 15, I don't know, $1,500 a year, something like that. I mean, Better Forms isn't going to be free.
Yeah, well, that's the next way is if you don't want to do it in WebDirect, you could use plugin functions or use curl functions or use our MongoDB functions to transfer the data, the records you need, to another server, and then have maybe some PHP script on the website to display the data.
Okay, what Christian just said is if you're a triple ninja badass coder, then you can use Mongo database, SQL, Oracle, Sybase, Informix, every other database system you ever heard of. The right data in there, then you can code your way out of a hole with lines and lines of code, and then MonkeyBread can talk to it. True statement.
So I would usually go with mirroring the data from FileMaker in an external database, which is then displayed on a website. This could be FF Better Forms if you want something finished, or you could build it yourself with PHP or whatever programming language you have.
Yep.
And it's your decision to see if you want the data be pulled out of FileMaker with OData, or you want FileMaker to send it to the external server.
Yeah, what he's talking about when we say OData, it's a method of moving data in and out of FileMaker. It's kind of technical. We have had shows on it, but it seems to be the current favorite flavor of the month for people on that. So,
all right, next question. I'm a newbie wondering if FileMaker integrates with Apple's contacts, reminders, and calendar. I haven't really found any information on FileMaker. Can this plugin help me with that?
Contacts?
Oh yeah, almost guaranteed. Yeah, the built-in
we have contacts
database.
And address book and events for the calendar and reminders. So yes, it's there.
It is available to you.
I think we had an older live stream about that.
Probably, yeah. It's a question I'll see pop up semi-regularly.
So if you want to try it, please download the plugin. We have a folder here with some examples for events to create reminders, events to sync it a little bit, or list for changes. And then we also have the same for address book, where you can create a new address or ask for addresses. So these 6 examples. The API is from Apple, so it's for Mac and iOS.
There you go.
Anything else?
Yeah, y'all should go get this. There's a free version, but you should pay for it. I made a note to clip something for you, Christian, the other day, which I'll have to go find. As in one of the Nick streams, he was rambling about how cool your plugin was again, which I thought was very funny because.
And Nick hates plugins. Oh, does he hate plugins? But then he used yours and went, "Oh my God, this is so great."
Please send me a link where I can watch that.
Yes, I will absolutely go find it for you. Yes, no, I'll find it. He had a rant about it in a couple streams ago. But yes, thank you very much, Christian, as always, for coming on. We'll see you at some point in August at this point, unfortunately, because the schedule's so wrecked. But I'm looking forward to having you on again, as always. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Go get this plugin, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.